Just be yourself. Just be yourself. Fuck it. Yourself is whoever you want it to be. I'll tell you what, I don't want to be a bald self. I want to be a hairy self. Now, the first thing you'll need is a hairpiece. They usually come in dome shapes, which is very annoying for me. This is medium brown, 4-inch length, medium density Swiss lace from Lord Hair. If you do go to Lord Hair, use the coupon code StickOnHair, that's the name of my YouTube channel, and they'll give you a 20% discount. That's significant. It's already pretty cheap. Like I've told you before, I can get 6 of these pieces for about $300. And that will last me 18 weeks, which is, damn it, 4.5 months for $300, okay? So a full year would be triple that, say $900, say $1,000 a year, okay? That's just for their hair. Now, how did I get from here to here? Well, I cut it out and I measured it on my scalp in a very messy kind of way, and basically I just put some cling wrap on my head, some clear plastic. Well, I didn't actually do that. That's what people are recommending you do. You wrap it around your hair and then you trace it with a marker, and then you're left with a stencil which is contoured. It's not flat, so don't think it's the same as drawing on a piece of paper. It's round. It's like geodesic lines, right? I don't know what that means exactly. And so this is the shape I ended up getting. I just took a piece of string really, and then that way, and then that's the length and that's the height, and I put a rectangle of this hair on there, but it wasn't from that original piece. It was from a while ago when I actually had access to a rectangle piece, which took 8 weeks to deliver. This took 3 days to deliver. That's why I get these now. I just go through a bit more mess using scissors, and I cut out these. And now I've got basically a year's supply of them, fresh ones. Unfortunately, like most companies, there is always a problem with bleaching. I highly recommend you get a product like this, which is hair bleach peroxide, because you want to do the roots again, but be careful. I haven't mastered it. There is a possibility that when this does go on, this isn't the correct direction or anything, but I showed it against my skin how some of the black bits are still showing. If you can possibly pick that up on a 720p iPhone 6, the black dots are going to ruin your life, okay? They will look like doll's hair if you brush backwards. Also, for those of you who are new to all this hair wearing stuff and you don't even know if you're going to do it or not, you're going to have to shave off the baby hairs that you've got. And that's a very scary thing, because if you don't shave them off, you see this netting here, which you can see through. Below that, you would be seeing scalp if it was glued on. But if the hair was underneath, it would be very obvious to everybody. But it would be messy, glued down hair. It would just be disgusting. It wouldn't work. Unless you could somehow figure out a way to pull your natural hairs through, not going to happen. You won't be able to do it too hard. But if you did glue around the perimeter only and then pull those hairs out, you might be able to manage it somehow so that you can take it off whenever you want. And then this bit up here would be squished down, but hopefully nobody would look at that. But that doesn't mean to say that you've got the same hairline as me. Everybody's got different receding hairline, usually male pattern baldness, balding a bit here, and then it all catches up into a horseshoe. And then you'll really need one of these and basically just contour something like this to the shape of your head. This is full lace. I haven't really experimented with mono plastics and so on, except for the fact that I tried it once a while ago and it was thick and shiny. ultra shiny, and the roots were just like these, and you could see it. It looked absolutely fake. No blonding at the scalp, the roots. So these are called knots, these bits that are tied in by a factory of usually Asian women who have hair shipped in from India, and in China they sew it all through and they sell it to the Western world. Well, first of all, they sell it through to a distributor like Lord Hair or Hair Direct or Shunfei Hair. Well, that's more of a factory. Don't trust them. Don't trust most of these companies, by the way. You really have to shop around. Lord Hair has mostly good hair except for the bleaching on the knots. They don't do that properly. Ultimately, what they could do is start with blonde hair and then dye it whatever color you want, because then the blonde roots will be invisible. You might think, how can people not see knots all over your head underneath your hairs? Well, it blends in and then you've got the length of some hair. I'm not going to have it this length, specifically because my hair hasn't grown out enough. It's been approximately 3.5 months since I shaved my head to a 0, completely shaved. And now, in my class of 20-year-olds, where I'm the 40-year-old, and I'm going to be going back, and they know I'm bald, and every week we shoot a new scene on camera, and we'll watch it back, and my shiny head is reflecting back everything. Okay, so I've talked a little bit about... So the problem is with this, I'm going to have to go back and convince them that I'm not wearing a hairpiece, because I'm already a laughing joke. I mean, they try to get along with me nice, but as an older kind of guy, which is fine. But I mean, I asked the headmaster, the head of the drama department, what they picture me as being cast as, and they said, well, you could be a security guard in a prison television series in Australia. Nah, fuck that. Be yourself. No. Okay, what else I've just done? See these front 4 teeth? Oh, it's hard in this light, it's very bright. I've got overcast skies and I've got a big beam of LED here. These 4 here are composite resin coverings. My natural teeth are shorter here. This one actually fell out, so that's not real. And this one's covered as well. So these 3 here are composite resin, but they're going to be replaced by porcelain veneers, those 3, and that one's going to be changed as well. Because even though you can't see it right now, I just have my teeth whitened, right? It's hard to compare in this particular lighting, but in other types of lighting you can see. Anyway, $750 to get the teeth whitening in a dentist chair. That's not like just, you know, using some toothpaste. That's not going to do it. This stuff hurt. It hurt. I went 9 shades brighter. That's amazing. Oh, here we can see, this is what I'm going to put on my head. I've just got to show you this, unfortunately. This is a bit of a problem here. Can you see that? Porcelain does not lie. They are not bleached at all. You should insist on bleached knots. That is going to look terrible. So I'm going to go through this box here and see if I've got something that's a bit less disgusting. Yeah, that's the ultimate way of checking. You seeing this? I can't see what I'm filming. Is it even focusing? Because I can see that it's clear. It's absolutely clear to my eyes now. But I don't know if this phone is able to actually clearly see how unbleached those knots are. They are disgusting. They are absolutely unbleached. Absolutely unbleached. What else have I got in here? An old one. See, that's medium light density. Can you see? Oh man, yeah, okay. That's medium light density. I used to think it was the right density for me, but unfortunately, the glue, Ultra Hold, which I'll talk to you about in a second, this is all dried out. All 4 of these are dried out. So I bought some more from eBay. It's very shiny, extremely shiny glue, but it holds in water and all the other things when you're diving into a swimming pool, etc. See how that is not thin. It's very sticky. That's gone, right? I'll throw that out. People say you can actually put some alcohol spray into the canister and wait overnight, shake it up a bit, but I've never found that to work. This is brand new. This is brand new Ultra Hold, okay? Straight out of that box. This is how it should look. See? Thin. Now, because I got the big sizes, and this is basically a 3-month supply or more, but you've got to do touch-ups and stuff. But anyway, it's about a 3-month supply. Got the whole double on that. Yeah, trustworthy. The problem is, it's extremely shiny, very messy to clean, and because of it, I basically throw out all my hair pieces. Each time, after 3 weeks, each one of these things ends up, well, I was going to say in the rubbish bin, but actually they go into this plastic bag of used hair pieces, which has all the dead corpse roadkill that I've ever worn on my head. Just in case I run out, or I bleach it too much and ruin it, or cut it incorrect sizes and so on, and then I've got to try to just peel it off, which is not easy, not good. See, that's a used one there. That's got still glow on it. Trying to peel that off is painful. And this is scary for me, especially given that these unbleached hair pieces, it's really unacceptable. I'm sorry that that's not a porcelain piece, but hopefully you can see there how absolutely unbleached they are. It's extremely black dots. They're not bleached at all, actually. Angry. That's all of them. They all came from the same hairpiece. So unfortunately, whereas this one, this other one that I purchased, this is, here's the camera on this one. This is Swiss lace, and they have bleached this. So I don't have any bleach in my house right now, so I'm gonna have to cut this out and use this, but then I don't want to run out mid-term. I'll have to order some more. If I'm really gonna get back into this, it's a scary thing. I'll tell you why, because holy shit, every time I press the edge of the phone, the whole thing just stops. And I've even had to put it into airplane mode. Filming with any camera on your own without a crew, which I have never had, by the way, except when I'm paid to act, it's very difficult. Okay? So that hairpiece that I've got down there, this one, that's my only bleached knot hairpiece, which is a son of a bitch. I'm just gonna have to order some more. Otherwise I'm gonna have to bleach all these knots, and I'm not good at it, and it rides up the orange if you're not careful, and just looks like you're a rat, basically. So, to start with, given that I've got some edits in here, I'm gonna have to compile this anyway. Not that I'm gonna make you a nice edit, don't worry about that. I always just plunk it on for you. I'll be using this. I'll be cutting this out and ordering more and insisting on bleach knots. And I'll just keep sending it back to them. I'll keep sending it back to whatever company I buy it from until they give me the proper bleached fucking knots. Because that is unacceptable. When would anybody ever want unbleached knots? The answer is never. Never ever. Nobody wants unbleached knots. They are disgusting, alright? You look like an absolute fucking doll. That's why the old blokes who haven't got good sight, and they're looking in the mirror, have these fucking orange fucking hairdos mixed in with their brown. You can't do it half-assed. We've got the technology now. Insist on bleach knots. Glue it to a proper line on your forehead where you know it's realistic. I've had trouble with this as well. But do not put this fucking shit on your head. I was just about to, just because I thought I'd brush it forward or something. Nah, people will tell. It's terrible. Okay, get rid of that shit. You want bleached. These are acceptable, much more acceptable. Okay, so I'm going to cut these out by using this and this and this. Okay, and then I'll end up with 3 leaf shapes that will suit this area of my head. I've been growing my hair out, going through this ugly phase, because I look much better shaved than like this, but I look 100 times better with hair. Now I can't have grown my hair all the way out to this length by the time I get back to school in 3 weeks, because I'm just on a 1-month holiday, which is why I'm doing it now, which I've grown and I've planned it all right, you see? Anybody who wants to see me, which I rarely get invitations, but now suddenly people are asking me to come out and see them, I'm going to have to say no. Because unless I haven't seen them for a long time, they wouldn't know the difference. Because from today, between today and tomorrow, I will have recovered from baldness completely. Understand? So you can't just go turn up next day and all of a sudden, what you need is a beard and a pair of glasses or some other disguise that, like, to try, whoa, you look so different. What is it about you? The beard, the glasses, you got different hair. Like, yeah, no, it's a list of things that nobody understands how to differentiate. And gradually I'll take these off and shave, and then I'll be back to, wow, just kept the good hair. Something like that. People are pretty stupid though, but not that stupid. If you've got photos lying around of you being bald, go, right, with a missing tooth, get rid of it. It's currently, this is a breathalyzer the court ordered me to carry with me at all times in my bag. 17 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in old man speak, but look it up. I'm starting to sweat a bit just from standing here in front of these lights in this room without ventilation. So that gives you an indication of how difficult it can be to do this in summertime. It is one of the coldest days in winter in Melbourne, but outside it would be maybe 6 degrees. It's not that cold, to be honest, but it's the middle of winter. In the middle of summer, I would be sweating, right? That's a lot to do with blood flow and me being unfit, and I've got to get out there. And I was thinking about doing a 10-kilometer walk today. Here goes. So, here are the things you will need for this entire operation. After you've done this with a bleached knot hairpiece, cut to your specifications. When I say your specifications, you need to shave the same way every time so that this does not change, okay? So decide, where do the baby hairs go back to? I'm actually thinning a bit back here and stuff, but not bad enough yet that length won't cover it. So I'm gonna go back to here, okay? And I shave there the same way every time. And I haven't had StickOnHair for many months, maybe 8 months or so, more. So this is a big going back party for me right now. I'm scared out of my mind. Okay, so that's that part. All right, cut it out, cut it out. Secondly, you're going to want to have to shave it. Electric shaver. We're going to go back down to 0, right? Electric shaver. Sorry, manual shaver. Then you're going to have hot water through this entire operation. Not boiling hot, just hot, right? You want to be able to clean yourself and so on. You're going to need baby wipes. Very useful. You're going to need Q-tips, cotton tips, whatever you want to call them. Nobody knows what they're called. It's a mystery of life. This is glue that kind of works, right? I mean, it works better than any other glue, but I'd still give it a 2 out of 5 stars. Everything else would be like a 1 or 0.5 because it just doesn't hold when you sweat. There is something called no sweat. The last time I put this on, the hairpiece fell straight off. but that was because it was summer heat. I don't know if that's, anyway, worth doing when I'm not sweating. Because if you are sweating, it definitely won't work. It's not going to go suction away the moisture. I'm assuming they think you're going to be in an air-conditioned, cold room when you're doing this. Bathrooms are hot places. If you have a cold bathroom, you're lucky. It'll help you. You'll need a fine-tooth comb for getting bits of glue and shit out of the hairline and all that sort of stuff. You'll need a hairband to hold the hair back, your real hair, once it's shaved off, so you can glue along the perimeter and everything, right, without the hairs falling in, because that's a pain in the ass. And then after you've done that, after you've applied the glue down to a level which is just below where you want to go, first of all, you're going to spray alcohol all over it, right? And then it'll give you 30 seconds to slip this on into position, okay? At that point, there'll be a lip underneath where this hasn't stuck down yet. You pull that back, you push this over it, right? Hold it back, and then you glue the front area because you can see how much, but in that case, you'll be using a Q-tip with glue on the end of it and doing the line. And I'll go through this with you. This is going to be a long video, I'm sorry. But I just thought I'd cover every single thing. And then maybe re-release that I Don't Wanna Be Bold song that I made. I don't wanna be bold! Right, that song. But with the new hair embedded into it. I was going to make a proper music video, but I can't be fucked. Alright, so let's start. Is there anything I missed? I don't think there is anything I missed. Make sure the knots are bleached, number 1. Cut it out to the right size. 2. Go on holiday and do this. Be on holidays when you do this. Do not fucking go in one night and experiment with your head and call in sick the next day, because you're going to have to go back in the day after. One long weekend is not enough. You need a month at least, okay? And you need length, alright? You're going to have to go through an ugly period and wear a hat for a while, unless you're on holiday for 2 months or so, because if you've gone for a shaved or buzz cut or whatever you call it, you're going to need time to grow this back. Now this isn't very long. This is not long at all. Okay, so there's going to be a bit of a challenge, and I'm going to have to keep it short so that it's, the hairpiece is going to have to be less than 1.5 inches, and I always warn about less than 1.5 inches. It's not going to be good. It might stick up, and I'll have to frantically try to find something on the internet, which is good that I'm doing this now, okay? And yeah, the porcelain veneers and stuff will be ready. I'll have white teeth, nice hair, and I'm going to go for 10-kilometer walks. Well, that's a long fucking way. Do you know how long 10 kilometers? It's a long fucking way to walk. Just try to look on the map where you are now and where 10 kilometers away is. It is probably 6 suburbs from where you are. Or, I don't know if you live in the sticks, but towns away. Okay, 10 kilometers, long way to walk. 5-kilometer walk is reasonable in a day, okay? Having said that, it's 14 kilometers for me to walk to school and back, and I did that twice. That's a long walk. And I just had an injection of steroids in my spine because I'm 40, and that's what we do. Prolapse discs. Alright, let's do it. Best way to start, really, so you can get a view of your actual head, is wet your hair. By the way, you'll need a towel as well. You'll need a towel. Okay. And also, I highly recommend, instead of using shiny gel, you use muck. It is the best. It is absolutely dry clay paste. You put this stuff, a little bit, on the palms of your hands, wipe it into them, then put a few drops of water on it, and then do this, and then it'll be matte finish. I love matte finish, it's amazing. It'll hold really nicely, but don't let it get to the window on the bus, because like most hair products. The ones that dry crunchy and stuff, something like that, instant freeze jelly, gel or whatever, will be kind of shiny and it could flake off and everything. It's just not the best. Muck is really fucking good. That's years of research, I promise you. That is knowledge right there. Okay, just an ultra hold bottle. Okay, so the first thing is take a deep breath. It's easier to say it than do it. Okay, look, scary. You don't want to go back too far. Don't fuck it up. Point of no return. Sounds like a robbery. I'm quite certain I'm going to get rid of that as well. But this is not a fine tool, is it? It's a bloody lawnmower for the head. If I don't do it correctly, then none of my hair pieces are going to fit. You want to sink with water running out of it. And you absolutely need good lighting. And if you're doing the top and back of your head and stuff, you need a mirror system. Proper, hung, supported. That might sound easy to do, but have you ever tried supporting things? Anything. Tripods for cameras are shit. And they've had hundreds of years or whatever it is to develop it. So it makes you think they're going to have a mirror hanging thing. You probably need like mirrors hanging from the ceiling, but then people will say, what the fuck is that? Well, that's just my balding head system. No, you're going to have to figure it out. I will have to figure it out. I might help you over that when I go back more and more. I'll put this on now. I think I'm supposed to take that off as well. Oh, that's my fringe. Alright. Okay, and that's the lesson ended for today. No, I'm going to have to put that hair on my head, but the first thing is I'm going to have to cut it out which means I already made a video showing you how to do it, okay? Just look that up. I can't be bothered setting that table up with the big lights and everything anymore. You only got 720p from this phone as well, facing this direction. So you're not going to get a very good resolution. You got a 400k version that I made for you already. It's called Cutting Out Hair or something. Anyway, go look at that if you want to see how to do that. By the way, if you've seen all my other videos before, why are you watching this? This is for beginners basically. I'm taking you from beginning to ending. And if this is your first time, I'm sorry that you lost all your hair. I'm so sorry. It's really heartbreaking, and I have empathy with you. But I've got a solution now, right? That's why I don't care that much about it. I just chose not to be bald, and I'm not going to be bald. For the last 8 months, I've gone without hair at all. Why? Because it was fucking hot, man. It was so hot. I was sweating all over the place. It was just fucking, oh my God, I couldn't fucking... It wasn't that the hairpiece was hot. It was the sweat. And when it sweats, the bits on the edges kind of peel up, and you've got to constantly be paranoid. The other thing is, if you've got long hair, which I usually have like 3 or 4 inch long hair all over, then the wind catches it and it acts like a little sail, right? And you don't want that to happen. You're better off having it short. But then it sticks up because it's coming out of netting. So what are you going to do? Basically, what you want is about 1.5 inch long hair at the fringe, at the bangs, okay? I'm going to cut this out, reassess how far back this is supposed to be shaved, and I'll be back to you after this edit. Okay guys, so I've cut that hairpiece into these 3, and I went online and I ordered 4 more full hairpiece systems from Lord Hair, and hopefully I'm playing that back to you because I've tried to film the screen. Hopefully that's working now, and I'm showing you that. So it's, as you can see, $516 American for the 4 pieces, but with a StickOnHair coupon code. Once you're logged in, otherwise it won't work. You've got to be logged in. So register, verify your email address as usual, and then you'll get $100 off in this case, because 20%, it's a massive discount. Alright, so I'm going to put one of these on. Unfortunately, because of the way they fold the lace, and I've told them off about that, I've got these, but they're on the back end, so that'll be facing that way, right? Up here, where nobody will see it. I'm not going to put that fold cut on the front edge, because that's the part that matters the most in terms of visibility. The knots are not 100% bleached, but they're better than those other ones I showed you. This light is extremely bright here. Hopefully it will not be so bright that it bleeds out the lighting there. So in these cuts, in this cut for example, see the way it's shaped? That's shaped so that this is down, so that means that the fringe is naturally going to be brushed down. It's very hard to make these things bend another direction other than the way that they were flattened. I'm not sure how to do it. Maybe I could force gel it back for a few hours, or put it under hot water or something. In fact, you've got to put it under hot water and clean them before you apply them. And it makes it easier as well. So I'll just choose which one I want. Well, this one, see how this one is the other way around? So if I put that on my head, that'll be facing backwards once it's applied. Same with that one, because I had to avoid that. See, I didn't have a choice. That's the problem when they don't make them the way I want them made, the way they should be made. So first of all, I'm going to rinse that under water. Maybe I should get the washing. Shampoo and conditioner. I'll just wash all 3 at the same time. Hang the others out to dry, then they'll be ready next time I do it. In the next few weeks. So I'm just making a little bath of shampoo and hair pieces in my sink here. I'll rinse that off, now I'm going to conditioner. With my order, I also emailed them to say, please make sure the knots are invisible, hold them against a porcelain white basin so that you can check properly that they're in fact bleached. If they're not bleached, you've got to send them back, but you might run out of time. You don't want to be going with a scraggly dead cat on your head. The good thing about Lord Hair, the reason I use them, is because they take 3 days to deliver. I just ordered, just then. And I can trust that in 3 business days from now, it'll be amazing. I'll get a knock on the door and somebody will bring it up to me. So that's always so impressive. Under a week is kind of expected. From them, from other people, could take a long time. We'll take these out. And then I guess I'll get the hairbrush and brush them straight. It won't matter if I don't, it just makes it easier and ready for next time. Like folding your clothes before you put them in the cupboard, instead of dumping them out of your washing machine directly into the cupboard. Fold them or hang them up. In fact, the ultimate setup would be if your clothes could be washed and put themselves away, but I haven't seen a machine that will. It's easy for me to buy that does that. Also, apparently, if you steam clothes, you don't need to iron them. Which comes into effect if you don't iron or take your clothes out and fold them and put them away as soon as they're dry from the dryer, because they're still warm. Once they dry out, they'll dry with the crinkles that they've got. So you either put them away immediately, or you'll have to end up ironing them or steaming them. So that's how much hair just came out of those pieces. Because of the scissors cutting through all the extra bits on the edges, and they're not completely held in firm around the outside perimeter. And I'm sure I could pluck every hair out of these hair pieces, but they don't come out that easily. They stand pretty well. So these knots are not completely bleached either, unfortunately, but they're better than those other ones. At least they went just like 5 seconds of it. It should be the #1 priority for any hair company to make their knots bleached. If they're the same price as everybody else and your knots are bleached, everybody else isn't doing it properly, you'll win. You'll get 100% of customers and I'll give you a massively good review, so will everyone else. So, bleach your fucking knots, bitches. Don't Me Too movement me. Sorry about saying bitches. Bleach your knots from the factory. Also, think about people who don't need a dome shape. Make rectangle shape hair that we can just bite and cut and in place. Okay? Alright, so I'm really doing this. Last time you saw it, it was cut to there, and I've gone back further now. Have I actually got freckles on my head now after? Can't tell if they're freckles. Wow. Because my scalp has had sun exposure for the first time in years. Okay, you can see the LED light's starting to flicker on the screen now. I'm not sure why that is. Why that's happening now more than before. I'll just turn it up, you don't need that light anyway at the moment. But I kind of do, I need to glue this on neatly. Okay. Glue. I just buy stock so that I can get back into it whenever I need to. I'm going to hang these out to dry. Just check the temperature on my breathalyzer. Still 17 degrees. Damn, that camera doesn't pick much up, does it? There you go, I'm clean, Your Honour. Okay. Alright. Now, get all this shitty hair off your hand. Okay. There's a patch up there that might not get coverage, that's very bad. But that is a balding spot. Maybe I should bring it back and start bringing it right back. And make those things bigger, but then I wouldn't get 3 out of the hairpiece anymore. I'd get 2. That would suck. And I'd be custom pieces all the time. That wouldn't take 3 days delivery, that would take much longer. These brushes that come with these ultra hold glues are absolutely atrocious. And it starts to drip off the top end of the brush and everything else as well. Because typically if you had a paintbrush, you're not going to dip the entire stick into the paint, are you? You're going to dip this part in. You're not going to dip all the stick in, which is what happens when these things are stored. So just get that shit off the edge there so it doesn't drip off onto your hands and make a big mess. Just like when you're colouring in, go around the outside edges first. It's important there's good adhesion at the back here, where it touches your natural hairline. But you don't want the natural hair to get caught in there like it is a bit now. If your hair's too short, you won't even be able to hold it back and you'll have a lot of trouble. You have to use a comb to get it out. This glue is brand new and therefore it is behaving itself nicely. And you want big globs either, you want to try and paint it, glue it on thin. If you find a brush that doesn't get dried out from having glue on it, these are plastic bristles. I don't know what would happen if you had other types of bristles. But most paint brushes, if you dip them in glue, will just turn into a kind of a rock hard mess that no longer works as a brush. This glue, after I've finished here, will take 15 minutes from the last stroke. Obviously the parts I started 2 minutes ago are going to be 13 minutes, approximately, until we can see that the glue has dried. Then that means that it is just tacky and will not release from your scalp by just touching it. It will not come up in mozzarella cheese with your finger. When people say dry, they simply mean will not lift off. It's very specific. You can't just say dry. It will not be dry. Dry is the wrong word for it. It will not be mozzarella-y anymore. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch 15 minutes of drying, but that bit there is worrisome. Tighten the cap on properly. And then when I come back, I will redo the front edge. Let's make doubly sure that these parts around the top edges are properly done, because it's very hard to try to glue this stuff back down with the hairpiece is on. Better to, oh, what a catch. Right. How do I know where to glue down to? Practice. Do I mark it? No, I don't. What do some people do? Talk to themselves in front of a mirror and ask themselves questions that only they will answer. They get the comb and they just go nyunk, make marks like that along where the hairline's going to be, so that the dots can show them where the glue is supposed to go. I should be a bit more scared about this entire process, going back to seeing these people with a full head of hair again. But fuck them. I'll only know them for 1 year of my life. That's it. Clothes don't suit me. I went out to a pub for the first time in ages last night. Girls didn't look at me. My name was Excuse Me. No eye contact. Excuse me. Just, do you mind? Get out of the way. Instead of, oh my God, did you see that beautiful? Fake man with a toupee. I just have to tell people who are starting this out for the first time, you know that this is kind of taboo, or, you know, right? But in a previous video, I'm missing my front tooth. This isn't a real tooth, it's a fake tooth. But imagine if I didn't have all my front teeth. Imagine people who've had their teeth rotten, like all the years ago when they didn't have, I don't know, toothbrushes or whatever they didn't use. Made all their teeth fall out. A lot of false teeth in my grandma's generation. I don't think that's going to be happening so much into the future unless people have accidents. But the false teeth thing, why do they choose to do that? Why do they choose to be fake? Because you don't want to be a laughingstock. You don't want to be embarrassed. Prosthetic teeth, prosthetic fingers, arms, hair. Just kind of expect it. Why do you wear clothes? Why do you brush your hair? If you're going to be natural, your beard should be trailing behind you for as many years since puberty that you've had. But you don't let that happen, do you? You shave it off. Fake. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. And it's not mozzarella-ing up anymore, okay? It's going to get a bit of, I was going to put water, but I've remembered now. Use alcohol with this stuff. Because this is an acrylic base glue. It says there. You can get water-based glues, but I don't really find them to hold that well. I'm sure if you're in a cold situation, cold climate, it should be fine. But when the heat comes, so like now in wintertime, I could probably use that stuff. But I'm just worried about the wind and things like that. Okay, so that's there. That's ready to go. All I have to do is put this on. First of all, I'm going to just make sure there are no hairs sticking out of the back of the hairpiece, because that'll give me problems. Don't shave them off with a razor blade like this, otherwise you'll be cutting all the knots and then the hairs will all fall out. So just pull it out. There's stitching they put in there to try and keep it dome shaped and round. They're a pain in the ass. Yeah, I just really want rectangle hair. Just sell it in sheets. Not all of us have crown hair that needs to be covered from that point, but it's all they make. That's all they make. Lord Hair, I'm talking to you. StickOnHair, I'm talking to you. Well, no, you're not really a company. Okay. Yet. glue's on. That front edge will be glued second. First of all, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to try and line up the back end with that part, which I guess you could call the natural hairline, the shaved hairline. So, keep it centered. I've got 30 seconds. Your time starts now. Okay. Jiggling it back and forth, trying to keep it even. Lining up. Don't want overlap. Not perfect, right? It's a lot easier if the hair's brushed forwards instead of backwards. See, the hair's starting to cover into it, stick onto the glue. That's bad, but a little bit of it is kind of tolerable. Do that there, line that up. Take that off. Brush that back there at the top edge. Then get that. Pour it down and center it. Checking. The front part. I need a table for this. I'm sorry, I'm just going to get the end covered in glue, the tip. Twist it. You will need those baby wipes to clean glue off yourself and off the table and everything afterwards. I usually have to do this front section twice because I miscalculated. Should have pulled those little hairs out from underneath as well, but I'm not going to bother. This Q-tip, this cotton bud, is a little bit absorbent, so it's not the same as the plastic brush, which means that you've got to add a little bit more to it. Especially down the front center. Okay. Lid back on, tight. Let's stop at the outside edge. I'll see you in 15 minutes. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes. Let's take this off. From the middle, I'm going to pull down like that. And just bring it down. And we'll do some inspection in a second. After I've brushed it back a bit. Water in a spray bottle. It's easier than wetting the brush in the sink, but you could do that as well. This is more effective. Lighter mist is better than a dripping wet brush. I'm dumping all this stuff in the sink and then I clean the sink out afterwards. Okay. It's foolish for me to say that it's only 2 gluings. I always need 3. So this will be the 3rd I'm about to do. In fact, that last one I probably could have used the brush, the glue brush, because I had enough room to move that brush around. It's nicer to eliminate mess by doing it carefully. I'm just finding points at the front here where the knots are exposed, or they're dark. I wish there weren't any dark knots at all, but unfortunately there always are. Once again, hair companies, please bleach your knots properly. Just for the sake of ease, I'm just going to peel that back so I can get to it more easily. Just see if that bit should be removed anyway. Just going to try and contour that out and around. That's rust on these scissors, they've been in a drawer for a long time. And as I've done that, it makes the front bits looser as well, so just pull those out. So I'm going to just keep it on the front tip here because it's going to be very thin. Why do people make themselves more attractive? Why do they go to the effort of wearing nice clothes or putting fake hair on their heads, etc.? The answer is so they're treated better, so they have better lives. Your choice is between shaving your hair off and I've mentally documented how I was treated on those occasions versus having a full head of hair. It is staggeringly better the way I'm treated when people who don't know see me with a full head of hair. Even people who've seen me bald and then they see me with a full head of hair, after a while they kind of forget, just take it for granted, and they just say, well, he's being treated better by these people, therefore he's worth more. Do you understand worth more? You're worth more when you have more followers, or more people who respect you than somebody else. It's not fair, because you might have better morals or some other thing, but if you're going to talk about the majority and how they perceive you, it's going to be about how other people treat you, how many people like you, how many people follow you. And that doesn't really require debate. I didn't say it was fair. I'm just saying it's the way things are. Also, when you look in the mirror, who are you? If your teeth are yellow, that's who you are. You can change it if you want to. And the reason you would want to is so that you get treated better. You will like yourself more. When you're not overweight, when you look good, when you give, when you're nice, and especially when lots of people like you. But you'll know if you're lying to yourself. I don't think I'm lying to myself by having a full head of hair. That's fake. I know I'm wearing hair. I know I'm wearing clothes, and I know I choose the clothes that I wear. Not that they always suit me. When you're a bit overweight, things don't suit you very well, but I know it's up to me to lose that weight. If I have legs or arms, it doesn't matter, you can still squirm, right? Unless you're paralysed, in which case appearances probably aren't that important in terms of your body shape, but still, you want the person looking after you to shave your face and cut your hair and stuff, right? Maybe even do this. If you're paralysed watching this in a hospital bed now, you've been there for years, you might be balding, you might think about doing this too. Because when people come to visit you, your kindness isn't the only thing they'll evaluate. Your appearance is. You don't want them to leave a giant booger hanging out of your nostrils when your guests come to visit you. You want to be presentable. You want dignity. This gives me dignity and respect, as long as people don't know about it yet. Like false teeth. If I had false teeth, and that is false, that one, but not a full false thing, right? I'd want to hide that from people. Just like you want to hide this from people. But don't be ashamed of it. You know it's true. It's just a matter of being treated better in this 80 years, little slut you get. Or less. Or a little bit more, but not much more. So, strangers are going to look at your appearance and that's all. That's all. They'll hear your voice. They'll look at your clothes. And that's how you're going to be judged by them. There's nothing else. In terms of people you already know, appearance is just another layer. But it's a significant layer. Don't think it's a shallow layer. There are more shallow things than that. Like personality, for example. You just make up your personality on any given day. Your ideals and belief systems and how much you actually want to help people compared to how much you just go, fuck, here you go, here's some money. Just don't bring me your issues anymore, I don't want to see it. Here's some cash, now fuck off. I don't care about you, really. I just know I'm going to feel better about myself by giving you this. Whereas you could choose to actually wonder what it's like from their perspective, etc. In which case you're probably really a lot better person. Especially if you care about different races, including animal races, and don't eat fucking meat like some Neanderthal fuck. Which you probably are. All non-Africans, all non-native Africans have 2.6. I'm part Neanderthal too, apparently. But I'm saying, if you have morals, you can choose. You know that we don't need meat to survive. It's just a luxury like whale blubber and fur. Do you really want to have to do that? You don't have to. So many delicious meals you can have that don't have meat in them. I'll be back in 15 minutes. It's been 15 minutes. Well, it's been a bit more. I've been watching a bit of Star Wars 8 opening sequence. I love that show. I want to watch it all the way through again. In fact, I didn't get a full, proper assessment of it. I thought everything was cool when I first saw it, including Leia coming back using the Force. And even Luke milking those weird sea cows. Strange, but, you know. I just wanted to see more Star Wars. So if you guys have a problem with that, then maybe you have a point, but I do love it. Anyway, we are now going to go back into fixing this bit. This should be the last part. Before I cut the hair, because it's 4 inches long all over. My natural hair is less than 1 inch long, which is not going to match, so I've got to cut it. Also, I've got to clean up this front hairline if there's any glue that goes past the front point, because that will get dirty. It actually does help alleviate some of the bad knots, unbleached knots, if you pluck them out at the front there. So now I'm going to wet the hair. Haven't decided how long I'm going to go. But a realistic transition after a month from what I just had at the start of this video to what they will see in 3 weeks when I return to class. It's probably not going to be believable either way. So I could try to trick them, but probably not going to happen. Even so, I'm not going to keep long hair here. I'm going to cut it short. Already though, if I went out with a bit of a haircut, I would feel better than the bald shit that I've been doing these last 8 months or so. Even though it's been hot and I went to Fiji and all that sort of stuff, scuba diving and everything, I'd still choose this and deal with it, the sweat and everything. Which means if I'm smart, I will never shave my head again. I'll just keep doing this for the rest of my life until technology catches up and I get decent implants, which I don't trust are refined enough yet. They might be, but that giant scar that I see on people's heads doesn't do it for me. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is segment the hair into 4 quadrants. Starting at the back, quadrants, lines, 4 lines of hair. The back line here will be the shortest bit, going forward to a little bit of a fringe at the front. I don't want it to be too short, but I'm going to deal with what I got because the hair, my natural hair is really short at the moment. I might make this a little bit longer than my natural hair. And then I can deal with any length problems afterwards. That's all just getting dumped into the sink here below me. This takes a bit of practice to be able to cut your own hair like this, but just consider it an essential part attaching a hairpiece that you have to learn how to do. Don't try and skip it. You need to be able to cut your own hair. On an angle. Angle, 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 angle. And definitely don't cut across like that. Otherwise you look like a scarecrow. Because the hair will just be flat and textureless. Second line of 405. Cross. Back. These are the two that I left hanging before to dry. I'm not going to put them back in the box while they're dry, while they're wet, because that will go mouldy and it'll ruin them. Over the next few days, after I have a shower and assess what I look like in the mirror a few times, I may cut this shorter. This is muck. I love this stuff. Okay, take a bit like that. So like that. Dry hands, palm of the hand. Do that. They have to be dry, otherwise it'll just roll into a ball, okay? Can't even see it, right? Rub my hands under the tap. Right. It's clay, styling clay, right? Putting some of this hair in the toilet. Put the lid on nice and tight. Dry hands. Towel. Brush. Yeah, that's right, we get to use one of these again. Yeah. And then the teeth whitening. Oh yeah, and losing the fat guts. But what's that look like from the top? Think it's better, huh? Having hair? Fucking hell, I'm so glad to have it back. Never again. I'm gonna be bald again. I shouldn't have even gone to class without hair to begin with. I just thought it was the new me. I'm gonna be some fucking prison guard. Superman. So, that's how you fix it. Don't forget to deodorize. Except don't use the white shit on your neck. They come in 2 different ones. That's actually deodorant. And that's just body spray. I've been using that as deodorant for years, but it seems to work fine. This is supposed to stop the pores from going through. I wonder if this and this effectively do the same thing. I didn't use this because it's winter, but also I've had bad experiences with it. It didn't work. Now let's go back in time and go to the pub from last night where I was seen as a nobody. Mr. Excuse me, sorry. And so long as I don't show my double chin, I think I stand a better chance. Also, sideburns play an important role in how you look. Longer makes you a bit older looking. Might shave them off, but I kind of like them that length at the moment. So anyway, that's how you get a full head of hair. And there's no pain at all. And just remember, the reason you want to be vain is so that you get treated better. So that you're happier and you can treat others better in return.